Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over in the test account and we're going to be looking at the new hero that came out for our Graveborns. Just got back in town and seen that Mira did come up. So I want to run through these skills and abilities. The Ghostlight Wanderer. Now, interesting enough, when we start thinking about the overall factions, we have two of the original 4 faction Graveborn releases. Those have been the last 2 regular heroes out of the last 10 iterations or the last 10 released heroes. So kind of crazy to think that we had two Graveborns, which of course the one before her was Rendell. Let's run through these skills and abilities. Right off the bat, she is a mage and she is burst damage. So I'm hoping that she is going to fall on the side of that really, really high burst damage, giving her some utility. If she falls just kind of subpar, might not see a ton of utility out of her. So let's see. So Mira can take both human and the Graveborn form. This is what we've seen when we did the adventure for her before. Human form, she has normal attacks to restore her energy. While in Graveborn, she launches magic orbs at enemies. I like that. That seems pretty cool. So the skill can be used actively while in human form, dealing damage equal to 300% of the attack rating to all enemies on the battlefield. So she is going to hit everybody and applying 3 stacks of wandering to them. Mira then changes to a Graveborn form for 10 seconds, which she returns, after which she returns to the human form. So she's going to switch back between forms. Mira is invincible and cannot be targeted while changing forms. The wandering effect cannot be dispelled. And upon 8 stacks, the enemy becomes terrified. So right off the bat, we have a crowd control with her. Pretty cool, and it is the 3-second Terrify, so okay, sticking very, very true to the Graveborn, during which no more stacks of Wandering can be applied. So should they get 3 stacks right there? So upon taking fatal damage, she retains 100 health and gains immunity to death. There's our cheat death. We have seen this with pretty much every single hero that we've had in the past. There is some form to cheat death. So plus gets a shield for 65% of the max health. So max health in here is going to be important. When the death immunity effect ends, the remaining shield value is converted into health. Death immunity can be triggered twice per battle, so we're going to keep her alive for a little bit. If she's in human form when triggered, she immediately casts Reflective Revival to change into Graveborn form permanently. So she is going to stay permanent. Damage is increased by 350% of the attack rating. When the passive is triggered by taking fatal damage, value of the shield goes to 90%. And then damage is increased to 400% of the attack rating. When she's Graveborn and has more than 500 energy, she is immune to control effects. Could make a really big difference right there when it comes to PvP. Now looking at the Hunter's Mark, at the start of battle, the enemy hunter farther away from Mira becomes a hunter until the end of battle. So this is going to be positional based, just like we've seen before. Every 10 seconds when all hunters on the battlefield die, the next furthest allied or enemy hero is selected to become the hunter, dealing 15% more damage to hunters, and damage taken from hunters is reduced by 15%. That is going to amplify the damage on one specific target. If the target dies, the next target is going to take more damage. This, of course, can make a big difference when it comes to bosses. Damage dealt to the hunters increased to 35% right there. Damage increase every 8 seconds or when all hunters on the battlefield die. Furthest enemy hero selected to become the hunter. Every 6 seconds or when all hunters on the battlefield die, the furthest enemy hero. So every 6 seconds, we can mark up another hero as a hunter. Very cool for a damage amplification effect. Now, Hunter Seal. In human form, she targets the enemy furthest away from her, which we already seen, teleports them to the area of the battlefield with the highest concentration of allies, and deals damage on the attack rating and stuns enemies. So now she has a secondary stun. We have a Terrify, and we have the stun. In Graveborn form, continuously cast a spell at the enemy with the highest health, inflicting multiple strikes of damage, so very similar to like an Isabella, and applying 1 stack of Wandering. If the hunter are present on the battlefield, then Marilla's skill is both of her forms prioritize the targeting them. So she is going to target the hunter in all of these forms. In human form, the damage dealt after teleportation is increased to 200% of the attack rating, and the stun goes to 3 seconds, so higher damage, better crowd control right there. Graveborn form, it goes to 180% of the attack rating. If casting is interrupted, the speed will go to 30%. When casted, Mira selects 1 additional animated target. If there's not enough targets, the attack power of the cast is increased to 50%. That could make a big difference. Now, of course, I believe this one is the engraving that she does pick up. In human form, targets all hunters and places a mirror spirit behind them for 4 seconds. When an enemy with a mirror spirit uses their ultimate, the spirit will dispel most of their buffs. Again, PvP, that is going to be huge. Graveborn form targets all hunters, place a mirror shadow behind them for 4 seconds. Mirror shadow has the same effect as mirror spirits, but mirror shadow also terrifies, so a third crowd control with this hero, and it deals damage 80% of the attack rating and applying 1 stack of wandering, which of course it seems like you could lock down a lot of these heroes with this terrify ability. Duration of mirror spirits goes to 6 seconds, and the duration of mirror shadow is increased to 6 seconds. The damage also goes up as well. For each mirror spirit or shadow, she recovers energy, so ulting faster. For each enemy with the mirror spirit or mirrored shadow, her attack rating is permanently increased by 15%, up to a 60% boost. That is pretty significant in there, guys. So Grave Reflection, when she attacks an enemy by wandering and terrifying, they suffer health loss equal to 1.5% of the max health. That's going to make a big difference, not exceeding. So not only are they going to have wandering or terrified, she's going to do additional damage. Health loss goes to 2.5%, 250. When the stack of wander trigger terrified, if the enemy is immune to control effect, they take extra damage equal to 4% of the max health, not to exceed 400%. When stacks of wander trigger terrify, so again, that is the ultimate part. Whether or not the enemy is immune to control effects, they will always take extra damage. That is a good on the plus 30 signature item, 7% of the max health. And then of course, the energy recovery rate of enemies terrified by wandering or terrified is reduced by 30. Mira's normal attacks also apply 1 stack of wandering. That is going to be PvP. So good on her. We only need the plus 30 signature item right there. Then the furniture, the first 2 casts of Reflective Revival will apply 8 stacks. So that is going to terrify right off the bat. Each time she switches between human and Graveborn, 1 additional enemy becomes the hunter, which is going to amplify the damage they're taking. If all enemy heroes have already become hunters, she will recover 50 energy for every surviving hunter. Wow, I do like the hero. Let's hop in this arena and see what she is all about. Now, again, I didn't get the ability to test her. We were actually out of town, just got in shortly. But I want to see kind of what this looks like on our test dummy here and see kind of how she looks. Now that, of course, is the guild trial, but let's hop in here and see kind of how this hero works. All right, so there she is. She is human form. Let's slow this down. There's the ultimate, going to the mirror, going to Graveborn form. Yeah, and she is just, so there we go, back to human, back to Graveborn. She was only human for a second. Right there's Graveborn. Where's the ult? There's the mirror, goes back again, casts the ultimate, switches back to Graveborn. And I'm almost wondering if through haste, we can keep her in Graveborn a lot of the time. But I do like how she's switching back and forth. That is very, very cool to see how she does this swap on the mirror. So that is very cool. All right, guys. So that is going to do it for the skills and abilities for Mira. I'm glad to see a regular Graveborn hero that will actually be able to go in here and summon. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of her. And as always, thank you guys for watching.